Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Python tutorial from my YouTube channel. In previous video you somehow got the concept of the for usage of for loop and else together in a program. In this video we will learn something new. So I'll not first say the title of the videos. First I will explain for you a case or a statement or a situation, and through that you have to guess out what the title will be. So sometimes when we write code we get error in that. In fact, not sometimes, we get error oftenly. Whenever a programmer makes a mistake, and sometimes the mistake can be uh, because of the server, not only programmers make mistake or cause error, servers also make cause error. Let's suppose we request some records from server and those records are not, they are unable to load because of the server errors. In that case, our Python program can be terminated, and we don't want our program to stop because of some errors. That's why we use error handling in our Python programs. And to do error handling, we use try and except code in our program. In this video, we will simply come to understand simply the exception handling in Python. So what actually exception handling is? Exception handling in Python is done, as I said, using the try except block. Um, the try clause, the try clause contains the code that might raise an exception, and the except clause contains the code that handles that exception. If no exception errors, the exception clause is skipped and the execution of the try statement is finished. We will simply, continue our execution of the program. So if an exception errors during the execution of that try clause, the rest of the clause is skipped. Um, so the except clause can handle specific exceptions, type error or index error or any zero division error, this type of exception. So basically all kind of exception can be handled through except clause. And also we have an else block sometimes. It is used for executing the code when there is no error. And we have finally block also, which is also sometimes used, and the usage is because it executes the some course regardless of the result of any try and except block. So this was about the try and except block, or simply exception handling. Now let's come to practical. Let's come to work or write a program, an example, and through that example, I will explain for you that how to handle the exceptions in a program and how to perform exception handling in a Python program using the try and except block. So let's write down an example here. I'll simply write try, and I'll give a equals to 5. Now 5 is an integer and I'll give b as 0, but now here if you can notice that 0 is inside the quotation mark, and when we put any statement or anything inside the quotation mark, that actually means that it is not any integer or float or character, it is string. Okay, now I'll say that print a plus b, which is not a normal case. A string and integer cannot be concatenated or added in normal cases. So for that I'll write down except clause. Okay, now I'll write down a print statement for that. so that it should write down a statement when there is any error. So I'll simply write type error. Type error occurred. And if any other kind of error occurs, for that also I'll use except clause, and for that I'll write down a print statement that some error occurred. Okay, if no error occurs, for that also I'll write down a print statement. We'll simply write out of try except block. Okay. Okay, now I'll just explain this code for you. So uh, basically in this code we are trying to add an integer which is a equals to 5 and a string which is b equals to 0. Now 0 is not integer, as I said, it's counted as a string. So we will try to add up these two, which will raise a type error. And to handle this exception, we have put a code that might generate an exception inside the try block. If an exception occurs, the rest of this the rest of the code inside the try block is skipped, and the exception block catches the exception and executes the statement inside it. It will say the type error occurred. Okay, now we will run this. And in this case, the type error exception is caught by the first except, as I said, it will be caught by the except block, which prints the type error occurred. If no exception occurs, the except block is also skipped now, and the code after the try except block is executed. In this case, the last print statement is executed, which is actually out of try except block. Now let's run this. That what we'll say. Okay, it simply says that type error occurred. Now we have given a integer, b string, and we want to add this to a plus b, which is not a normal case. So for that, and it will give error. So to handle this error, we don't want to terminate our program. So for that, we have written except clause for that, and we have handled the exception in that, so that if there occurs any error due to the our program, or due to the mistake that we have done, it will handle that error and the program will continue its normal execution. So now it will have error, and in that case the uh, print statement of this except clause is printed here, or is being returned here, that type error occurred. This is very easy, the very basic concept of exception handling. This was a very easy example. In the next videos we will somehow work on the tricky examples of the exception handling in Python. So till that time, Allah Hafiz.